Mini skirt on, take my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. Two foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, take my body in
Hello. You're now tuned in to the A Little Bit A Lot podcast hosted by Kristen. Hey guys, we're back again. We're freaking back again. This has been a good week. The sun is shining outside today. It's feeling like fall's about to be falling. And I have something exciting for you. All right. We have another guest this week. And that guest is extra freaking special. It's my sister, my girl, my world, Janay. Hi. Say hey guys. Give Janay a warm freaking welcome. We're up in this piece and we're here to slay. I'm super excited. This has been long awaited. We've got my girl in the building and we're gonna turn up. So, how are you?
I'm good. I'm kind of nervous though.
Yeah, Janay's been nervous, but I know everybody's gonna give you a warm welcome because I'm giving you a warm welcome. Purr. So this week, I really wanted to bring Janay on because we had something extra special to talk about. And that is the fact that this year makes it the 20-year anniversary for the Cheetah Girls. I came over to my sister's house just so we could film this episode. So heads up, if you hear creaking and moving and all that type of stuff, it's because at my mom's apartment, the what do I say? Like the sound is crazy up in here. Like you can hear pretty much every step that the neighbors take. So
yeah,
you know, if you hear that at any point, I mean, but then again, in my house it's not much better because like you guys hear my neighbor's dog and stuff like that. So whatever the heck. But yeah, I came over here because the 20-year anniversary of Cheetah Girls is a thing this year, and it just makes me feel old. Does it make you feel old?
Yeah, I mean, it's 20 years and I'm only 24. So, well, wow. I'm going to be 24 in November. But
didn't that say it came out in 2003? So how old were you in 2003?
I was 3, turning 4 in November of that year.
Oh my god. So how old does that make me when
6 or 7?
Wow.
You were 7.
Oh my god. The Cheetah Girls has made such a big impact on our lives, so we felt like for the 20-year anniversary to come by and us to not talk about would be a crime. Guys, I'm sorry. She's tickling me. What the heck? We're in a professional setting and you want to tickle.
I'm a tickler.
But yeah, I guess we could start off by saying like, you know, how the Cheetah Girls impacted us and like how we first like got into the Cheetah Girls, because I remember the specific moment that I found out about the Cheetah Girls. It was when I was upstairs and we had a computer and I was on DisneyChannel.com, or I don't even think it was DisneyChannel.com. I think it was AOL Kids or something like that. And
God, you're old.
No, it was AOL Kids, I think, and they had like this little like playlist of new songs. And I looked at it and I said, the Cheetah Girls. So this was before, I don't even think the movie had premiered yet. I think they had just released the soundtrack and the songs were trending. And I heard Cinderella for the first time. And of course, we thought she was saying, I don't want to be like Cinderella sitting in a dark, cold, dusty sweater. And I was like, hey, Janay.
Check out this sweater song.
Check out this sweater song. I don't want to be like Cinderella sitting in a dark, cold, dusty sweater. Now we know she's saying seller, but we didn't know that. And that song changed my life because on this podcast before, I've talked about how I like Bratz, and with the Bratz music back in the day, it was very empowering to young girls, teaching them about independence and like putting themselves first and their self-worth. So of course that made me feel fierce, and I remember getting up, dancing around upstairs, and I'm like, I'm into this. And then I told Janay about it, and then next thing you know, we watched the movie. It was already exciting because then I found out that Raven Simone was in the Cheetah Girls, and of course at the time, she already had That's So Raven. So it just made sense. And ever since then, we've been rocking with them. Cheetah Girls has really, really been a big part. Like the movie, the soundtracks.
I don't remember a ton because I was 4 years old. But I don't know. I feel like it feels like I grew up with the Cheetah Girls. Like it's been around for as long as I have conscious memories. So yeah, I just truly grew up with it. Like I really didn't understand what was going on at all in the movie when I was little, but since we used to watch it so much, I've slowly learned what actually is going on.
Yeah, and like we just finished watching it, and it was just a whole new experience.
Yeah, now I'm watching it at 23. It's like so many different parts of the movie my eyes are open to, because I only saw it through a child's eyes back then, and now I'm an adult and I'm like, so this is what actually happened.
Right. So let's just jump into it. We're starting off, but we kind of just want to like give our thoughts about different moments within Cheetah Girls 1. I feel like we need to do a separate episode about Cheetah Girls 2 because in itself, it's a whole different ball game. Like we're talking Barcelona, like so many more things happen. The stakes are just so much higher. The pressure is getting worse.
I really didn't like Cheetah Girls 2 though. I've told you this.
Controversial take.
I don't really care for it. I don't care for either that much, really, because I hate movies where there's miscommunication.
Right. That does stress you out a lot.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like, I feel like now that we're adults, we realize now that we're, we've been therapized that there is a lot of miscommunication. But I feel like that kind of just happens, when it's a coming of age story. You have to see them kind of work through those kinks and fight through to put their friendship as a priority. So, I don't know, but a few notes that I want to point out when it comes to the movie is towards the beginning of the movie when they were kind of talking, crap with the boys who were teasing them and being like, what if they were elephants instead of cheetahs? And then Raven's like, the cheetah is the fastest and fiercest feline in the jungle. Let's bounce, girls. It's something about that. It was just like, wow, like that ate down. Like, not only am I giving you trivia, but I'm giving you sass. I'm giving you pizzazz. Let's go. And like, there's nothing.
Let's bounce is probably one of the best things I've ever heard in my life.
Seriously. Like, that is so powerful to just be so unbothered by the trolls. And I feel like I aspire to be like that level of confident. Like I'm still not even nowhere near as confident as Galleria was as a teen. Are you serious right now? Like the way that she was never panini pressed about those boys and just said, let's bounce, girls. Like that's fierce. And it just really tells you like the origin of like why the cheetah is so important here. Okay, you guys want to be like, oh, Cheetah Girls, but it's like there is a meaning behind this, and I think that's what makes the story so powerful in itself, because it's like we are fierce, we are fast, and we get it done.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then it's like you turn around And, of course, at the end of the day, like, I'm only human. And I'm, still going to realize, like, the boys are going to be the boys. And the boys are cute. So when we get to that cafeteria scene, sorry to the people that haven't watched Cheetah Girls, but I assume that my audience knows what the frick I'm talking about. The guy who is Galleria's love interest is a cutie. Let's air it out.
Very much a cutie.
Janay was thirsting after this guy.
I had to look him up mid-movie and see if he's still that cute. And heads up, he is. At least to me, I think he's older now, but I think he's still a cutie.
Yeah, I agree. He was really cute. And then, like, that moment where you're just like, ooh, when he walked up to her and said, you're still my boo. Like, oh my God.
It was intense.
It was. The tension between the two was so real. But I applaud Galleria for keeping her eye on the prize. And I think that was another...
Yeah, she didn't falter until the very end of the movie when she finally kissed him.
Exactly. She made that boy kind of wait for it. And it's like, again, folks, I feel like these are like...
That's inspiring.
Yes.
It's inspirational.
Like, that's what makes all of it so inspirational. Because she, like, seeing that at a young age and being like, okay, I clearly do see that there is tension between the two, but Galleria's not boy crazy. And the fact that, like, she can acknowledge, like, yeah, he is cute, but, like, at the end of the day, like, I have goals and I have priorities. And then once she accomplished...
like me.
Yeah. Like, once she accomplished her dreams at the end, then she's like, okay, I'll give you a shot. But he had to work for it, He had to help her out with the Cheetah Girls, show her support, give her some encouraging words. Let me know you're a real one.
She had to know he was down for it before she really,
gave in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people sleep on the fact that, like, that was a good thing because she could have easily just been kind of like, Totally Spies.
Not too much on Totally Spies,
though. No, right. I'm not going to say too much on Totally Spies, but we do know that Clover.
But Clover, she may have been boy crazy, but she also got those missions done. Like, she knew what to do. That's because the only reason she could be boy crazy is because she knew that she was so good at being a spy that she knew that she had the time for these dudes.
You know what? That's a good way to look at it. You're right. So I guess,
like, I can go on a mission and save, the Prime Minister of the UK at 12 and then still go on a date with the local hottie
at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And that was the gaggy part about it. They were constantly, like, leaving school, saving the world, and then coming back and being like, let's go to the mall.
How did they even get to graduate? They missed so much school.
I would be exhausted. Because if I'm saving the day, that's all I'm going to do for the day. I'd have to take a rain check on that date later. Are you serious? I don't know. But, yeah, that's a good point to look at it. Like, they could, have portrayed it either way. But I think at the end of the day, all that matters with both characters, Galleria and Cheetah Girls and Clover and Totally Spies, is that at the end of the day, it's showing that we have women in STEM. And they still get the job done. And I also like the fact that in the movie, I talked about the music. Like, that is a big vital part about why we love it so much. And you've got Cinderella saying in the song, I can slay my own dragons. I can dream my own dreams.
My knight in shining armor is me. So I'm going to set me free.
I'm going to set me free. That eats down. It's giving 5-course meal. That alone. Why the frick did they not win a Grammy for that? I can slay my own dragons. I can dream my own dreams. My knight and shining armor is me. I'm going to set me free. Big things. Big lesson. Teach the girls that, like, you don't need somebody to rescue you at the end of the day. Having that is nice. Yeah. But you can do you.
Exactly.
I love that. Let's see. What are other moments that I thought were funny or that I liked? Fast forwarding to when Galleria said that Dorinda was tore up.
You don't want to look toe up.
You don't want to look toe up.
That's a lot to say to your friends.
So
Like, I'm always team Galleria. Like, I'm always like, I think she was heavily wronged in the movie. I think she was unjustly villainized. But
get into that.
Saying that your friend is toe up is like, you don't want to look toe up and janky. Those are fighting words, actually.
I'm surprised that they didn't add a fighting scene. Because if I were Dorinda, I would have.
They already went through too much. She's in foster home. She doesn't need to be suspended on top of that.
Yeah, Dorinda truly rose above in that situation. Because you don't even know my current situation, and you literally just said that I'd be looking toe up.
Right.
And it's like, I understand Galleria.
She was just simply ignorant. She didn't know that she was, poor. But, like, that's still not cool.
Right. And for those who may have not watched, Cheetah Girls, Dorinda is a foster child, and they had a problem with the fact that the Cheetah Girls, wanted to become famous. They wanted to be this group that said, we're here to slay, we're here to rock the day, but we can't do that if one of us is looking toe up. So to chase our dreams, to get that record deal, to be the girl group and the icons that we want to be, we got to dress the part. Galleria wants Dorinda, the poor foster child, to step her game up and start dressing better. But to be like, you look toe up, there's so many different ways that you could have delivered that message to say, hey, I'd like us to look a little bit better. How about we have a uniform? You could have, I don't even know how she could have approached the conversation, but that wasn't it.
Right.
And let's talk a little bit about, the way that you ride for Galleria. Because Janay has taught me, like, at the end of the day, even though people felt like Galleria was, being rude and saying that, Dorinda looked toe up, and it was like shaming Aqua for how she eats and being like, we're professionals now, we don't chew with our mouth open. At the end of the day, though, like, we do understand because she had a dream and she was on a mission. And I feel like she is villainized for standing in her purpose and trying to get the girls to, like, be professional.
Yeah. I mean, the same was done to her in the second movie especially, but it's like, I think that she definitely had some moments where she didn't go about it the right way, but like, I really don't get why they tried to villainize her so much and make her seem like such, the bad guy or like a diva for actually having her eye on the prize and focusing on Cheetah Girls and being all about the Cheetah Girls. Like, that one scene where they were in the lunchroom after the first Jackal visit and she was just like bragging to the whole lunch cafeteria. That was a lot. But like, I feel like I don't get it. Like, you guys said that you were dedicated to the Cheetah Girls. You made this whole girl group. So when someone is actually taking it seriously, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, Galleria, you gotta chill, like, you're being too harsh. Like, no, I thought this was our dream. I thought this is what we wanted. Like, and also, I do think that it's not wrong for her to be like, hey, Jackal, I wrote all the songs, actually, because you did write all the songs.
Yeah, there was a point in the movie where Galleria introduced herself to Jackal and said, hey, I'm the founder of the Cheetah Girls, and I also write all the songs.
I don't see why that's wrong. If she is literally the one who came up with the Cheetah Girls, and she is literally the one who writes the songs, I don't get what's the problem with saying that.
Because you don't get what you want. I think you
should, obviously you should talk to your friends about it first, but like,
at the end of the day, the moment was there. Somebody had to grab the moment by its shoulders. She wanted to secure the bag, because how many people get this opportunity?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's like our biggest takeaway when it comes to the Cheetah Girls, is the fact that like she was so focused and she was so driven, and then you get to Cheetah Girls 2 and they're like, let's go shopping. Boys, oh, I have a new Latina friend.
No, we
Oh,
just want to explore Barcelona. Like, let's just chill. Like, no, that's not what we came here to do.
we came here to work. Work is work.
And they tried to villainize her for that in the next movie too. But
Yeah.
we're not talking about Cheetah Girls 2. We're talking about Cheetah Girls 1.
Right. And I think that there's also like a lot that could be said when it comes to the Cheetah Girls, their mom. Because
Galleria's mom?
Yeah, Galleria's mom. Because now that I'm older, I used to just think that Galleria's mom was just such a negative Nancy who just didn't believe in her daughter's dreams. She was just like, no, I don't want you to meet this record producer. I want you to, finish college, be about your responsibilities. And then when you're older and you can handle it, then you can, explore your ventures into the music industry. But Galleria's like, I feel like I'm responsible enough. And if you're there with me, we can do it together now. And I can balance all of it, but I just need help. And her mom's like, no, you need to wait. So it's like, now that I'm an adult, I do get it, because I think it is fairly common when it comes to child stars. Your parents are going to be timid. You don't want them to go out there and get their hopes up high and then their dreams get crushed, which is what Galleria's mom was saying to her husband. Like, what if her dreams are broken? What if she ends up being disappointed? And her dad's like, well, it's life. Like, at least, if we do help her now, we can be there to help her pick up the pieces, versus when she's older and has to do it on her own.
He ate.
He did. What are your thoughts on Galleria's mom and her decisions and the way she's gone about, like, being there for her daughter?
Yeah, I agree with what you said. Like, when I was younger, I just thought that she was just getting in the way and she was just being mean and not wanting her kid to thrive. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense now as like an adult. Like, she just didn't want her to be hurt. But, ultimately she still had to let her kid, try. And if she fails, she fails, and she had to just be okay with that.
Yeah, and I think that seeing that as a kid can sometimes, be an inspirational moment where it's like you see that even, parents get scared, even parents are worried, but it's all about having that trust, having that faith, and working together as a team to be like, we'll figure this out. And I give her dad, props for that. I wish we would see more of him in the second movie.
Right.
But I don't know. And then there's like another big point that we wanted to talk about when it comes to Chanel, because I feel like me and Janay can especially kind of relate to her story when it came to the struggles that Chanel had with her mom, because she had a moment where she comes home and her mom's really busy. She's got to go on this date and she's like, mom, like trying to tell her, I had a high C note today with the Cheetah Girls. And she's, everybody I feel like can relate to that. You come home from school or an event, you want to tell your parents all about it, but then they're busy. And that can be kind of sad.
Yeah.
And there was another moment where the phone was ringing and then Chanel was like, nobody's home. Nobody's ever home. And like, as an adult now, I'm like, ooh, girl, like, woo, I get it, because
having been through what we've been through, it like kind of hits harder.
Yeah, because not to go too deep into it, but to give a little bit of context, like I had mentioned before that we are children of divorce, and I think a lot of people can relate to this when your parents are separated and then they start dating, and I feel like naturally things are going to shift. Like, your parents aren't metas, they're not superhumans, they can only organize their time so well. And some parents are better at it than others, but they're human too, so they have to go out and sometimes the moms want to be on their real hot mom stuff and be out and be with their man, but still trying to make time for their children. And I think she's just struggling with that right now. Like, her mom is kind of just struggling on making sure that she balances time equally for her boyfriend and her child. So it's like, we know that can be hard, because as a kid, you feel like my parent is not making enough time for me. We kind of had that type of phase too. You know, when our mom was dating and we're like, girl, you've been at your man's house for like a couple days. Come home. We miss you. We want to talk to you.
Right.
Yeah. So that, like, man, like, that really, really hit home. Nobody's home. Nobody's ever home. And then, like, you know, her mom the next day, she's like, oh, you know, I hope your spirits feel better. You know, we'll go on a shopping trip. She promises Chanel that they'll go on a shopping trip. She comes home the next day. There's a note on the table being like, oop, sorry about that. Luke called. I'm actually leaving, but here's the card. And me and Janay literally looked at each other when we had that moment. We're like, skip the dang card. I want you.
Right.
Like, that is seriously the struggle, because especially with our mom, like, growing up, she is very busy, would sometimes work up to 16-hour shifts at the hospital. So, you know, when she would be kind of like manic and not be off of a lot of sleep, she'd have like that weird kind of like burst of energy. It would call us and being like, tomorrow we're going to go to the mall. And then we're going to do this and we're going to do that. So when I get off work, I'm going to go, you know, rest and then wake me up and we'll go. And then we get up and we're like, yes, we're going to have a day with mom. Oh my God, we're so excited. And then we're like, all right, mom, let's go. And then she'd be like, I'm tired. Wake me up in an hour. Like, okay. Wake her up. Give me another hour. Give me another hour. Next thing you know, it's 8 p.m. The mall's freaking closed.
Right.
So we totally understand. And then she just, like, her mom just gives her the card and she's like, go have fun. So what does Chanel do?
She runs it up.
Yeah. She runs the bag up and she's like, all right, you don't want to come with me? I'ma turn up. Maxed out the card. Yes, she was wrong for that. I understand you're disappointed that your mom didn't come shopping with you. But when she gives you that card, that doesn't mean run it up. That doesn't mean max it out.
Exactly.
Chanel said, ice me out. Ice me out. Where's the cash doll? Are you serious? Oh my God. So I thought that was like kind of relatable there, because our mom used to do that a lot and just be like, just take the card. And we're like, girl, we wanted to go with you.
Like, I don't even remember the passcode.
The pin.
Yeah.
I don't even remember your debit card pin, girl. But yeah, anything else that we want to add to our thoughts about Cheetah Girls?
I just wanted to talk about how it used to be a very scary movie for me when I was little.
Oh my God, yeah, let's air that out.
It was my first it was my first time experiencing someone being in like the foster system, because, you know, Dorinda, she's like a foster child and she has her foster mom, and like,
right,
I had never heard of that before, and it used to like slightly scare me, but really just make me really sad.
So you didn't know how to cope with those emotions. You're like, I'm feeling something.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go with fear, even though really it was just like empathy.
Yeah, I guess so.
'Cause, I mean, that's natural. When you're a child, fear of the unknown is a thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not that it was unknown. It was like, I was just sad because like I didn't really know fully what it meant when I was little, but what I did know was that she didn't have, you know, quote unquote normal family. She didn't have a normal family dynamic. Like, she didn't have her birth mom and birth dad, and like that just made me feel really sad. Like, she didn't have a mom, and it was like, as being like, you know, 4, 5, and 6 watching this movie, I'm like, you know, she doesn't have a mommy. And so it just made me feel really sad. And then also at the end of the movie, when Galleria is walking her dog Toto, in New York City, you know, where they live, there's like this open construction site area, and like I guess the ground is open, and so like all the pipes underneath are exposed, and it's like I don't even know what's down there, but the dog.
Seriously, like, what were they doing? What were they working
There was
on?
like, you know, steam kind of coming out of the hole, and like it was blocked off, and like obviously humans or living beings aren't supposed to go down there. And I just remember being little, like I still don't really get what he fell into. Um it was just some sort of like they were working on the pipes maybe underneath the city or something. But it was like steam, and it was kind of dirty down there, and it was like soot and stuff, or just dirt. I'm pretty sure it was just dirt, but it looked like soot to me. And like with the steam coming out, I'm like, oh my god, it's an open fire down there. When I was little, I used to think this. It's an open fire, and this dog is getting cooked alive. And we're just, that's why all the, you know,
The city's panicking.
yeah, the city's panicking. The news is there. They shut down the talent show just to save this dog, because this dog is being burned alive by these hot pipes and this steam. And I really thought it was like a lot more drama than it really was. But really, it was just, you know, dirt, and like steam is always coming out the sewer in New York and stuff. So it was just something. It wasn't really super dangerous. Like, he didn't have a ton of oxygen down there, and they had to like cut the gas pipes or whatever. But I thought that it was something way more sinister.
I forgot that they had to shut off the power around the area and the gas
Yeah.
to get the dog out of that hole in the ground.
So I thought that it was this huge situation and the dog was on fire.
Yeah. And like now that we watched the scene again just now, it did still feel like panicky.
Yeah, it was, I mean,
It was still like, oh my God.
right. They called half the city down
They
there.
had a
to
GoPro
save the
down there,
dog.
and we see the dog in live action. Like, oh my.
And then when they got the dog out, there was like a towel wrapped around its head. So that especially solidified it for me when I was younger. And I'm like, oh my God, they have this towel because the dog has like all these burns, and they're trying to cover it
The
up.
dog has third-degree burns.
But yeah, that wasn't the case. The dog was like pretty much okay.
Oh my God.
But I thought he was being cooked to perfection down there.
I know, for real. Like, that is really, really scary. Yeah, when I was young, I didn't think that the scene was that scary. But, like, now that we've gotten older and you told me your true feelings about it, I can really look back and think about, like, being even younger at the time and see why that would feel a little bit, like, worrisome. And the same thing with, like, Dorinda being in foster care. There's not much that we didn't know anything about that. No one ever talked about that. No one in our school that we knew of was even in foster care. So the whole concept was new. We didn't even know much about dogs.
Right.
We, like, growing
I
up,
barely even knew what a cheetah was. Watching the Cheetah Girls.
Here's just the most powerful feline in the jungle. That's all we knew because that's what Galleria said.
Right.
Like, we didn't know nothing about nothing at this time. So everything was new to us, and it was a lot. I mean, golly, that was the first time that I learned that when you step in dog poop that it even stinks.
Yeah.
Because I'd never stepped in that before. There's a scene in Cheetah Girls where they have a business meeting with the record producer, and Galleria is late, and on top of that has to make a pit stop to the bathroom because she stepped in dog poop, and her friend Chanel, being the good BFF that she is, wipes off the poop for her and cleans her boot. Couldn't be me. I'd have been like, girl, you got the boot.
Right. Just throw it away at this point. Let's
Just
go
walk
down
out
the
there.
street and find you some new shoes at the store.
Like, just go out to the meeting with the socks on. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Because I wouldn't want to be wiping off that poop from my girl. Like, why couldn't she do it? I didn't understand that.
Strange.
I know. But, yeah, overall, I think the moral of the story is, you know, you could go in all day talking about all the different little moments that make the movie great. But I just think at its core, it's just girl power, girl power. That's what it shows you. The importance of girl power, the importance of self-love.
The importance of Cheetah sisters.
Yeah. Like friendship, teaching you about friendship, teaching you about self-worth. Because Galleria also, that's so, like, admirable at the fact that the record producers wanted them to be something that they weren't. They're like, hey, we understand that all the music that you write is fire and, you know, the choreo you got is good, but we actually hate it. And we want you to, like, literally sing this cheesy, chatty song and be something else. And Galleria's like, girl, no.
Right. At their age, it could have been so easy to just follow along and sign your life away on accident. But thankfully, she was smart about it.
I know. And that's what I love about it, too. Like, even
We're
though
saying all this as if they're real people.
These are real things that, like, really impacted our outlook on lives. At least mine. I was like, oh my God, that's so fierce. Like, you stand up for what you believe in. It was so inspirational at the time. Because it's like you said, you could fall for anything. But they showed us that it's like, no, if you believe in yourself and you know that you have something to offer, stand on that. And the fact that the other girls didn't back her up because they felt some type of way about how their relationship was going in the moment. I feel like it would have been nice to, like, have the girls be like, yeah, we're out of here instead. But then once they get in private, be like, hey, Galleria, like, we're still not cool, but we felt like we needed to leave the meeting now. That would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have.
But at the end, you know, everything ended up working out. So that's what I love about it. There's just so many different lessons that they wrote in there. And I also like the fact that the movie was produced by Whitney Houston. So, of course, you know, Whitney's going to believe in it, believe in the story.
All right.
She also produced Princess Diaries. So that's iconic. But yeah, so overall, I just think that more people on this 20-year anniversary really need to, like, do a deep dive and talk about how movies like this are important for young women. We're always going to ride behind that over here, you know?
Always.
For real. Well, any other ideas and thoughts that you may have about the movie? Or just Cheetah Girls in general?
No.
Okay, well, we're moving on to our segment. Favorite thing of the week. Favorite thing of the week. Favorite. At this point, that has become the song. Let me know in the comments, guys, or in a review if you're feeling it. Favorite thing of the week, the song, the jingle.
I'll
add it on
feeling it.
Spotify.
I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs.
I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
I can't even think about what my favorite thing is, so you go ahead and share yours.
Mine is a song. It's called Hot to Go by an artist named Chappelle Rowan.
Let me see. Ooh, so that's a new song.
Yeah.
How'd you find that artist?
On TikTok.
Period.
Yeah, I saw she had an ad for it on TikTok and I went to it. I'm like, this song slaps.
What kind of song is it?
It's like sort of 80s inspired.
Ooh.
It's very cheerleadery. It's got like a chant in it, which I love.
Oh, Janay loves a song with a good chant.
I do love a chant.
Real.
So, yeah, Chappelle Rowan Hot to Go with the exclamation point at the end.
Purr. I love that for you. All right, guys. Well, if you have the time, check that song out because any episodes that Janay's going to be on, if she's telling you that her favorite thing of the week is a song, it could be anything, but if it's a song, you might want to go listen to it because I'm saying this right now publicly. Janay's taste in music is fire. And she's always being like, I just feel like my music is chatty or, my music sucks.
I feel like it's like strange and all over the place sometimes. Like,
but that's what makes it so cute.
I go from listening to rock to Megan Thee Stallion to indie artists like Chappelle Rowan, and then I listen to Shina no ga Iwa Japanese music.
Which slaps.
It does.
Vocaloids.
Yeah, Hatsune Miku. It's all over the place.
It is, but like that's what makes it so good.
Also, GOT7, of course.
Right. We could do a whole other episode talking about GOT7 alone. Here up in here, this is a GOT7 household. Okay. So with my favorite thing of the week, I literally just thought about it on the spot. Rolled tacos.
Okay.
I
love that you have your little thing.
Yeah. Taco Bell. Listen to me. Y'all keep playing around. The rolled chicken tacos from Taco Bell should not be a seasonal menu item. It should be a permanent menu item. Y'all want to keep bringing back these stupid Mexican pizzas and these nasty nacho fries?
Kristen's views are not Janay's views, I would just like to say. I personally like the nacho fries.
No. Because it's like, why would I want a fry that tastes like nacho? As a girl who loves potatoes?
I think it's a fun little treat.
I feel like that's just me and Janay's dynamic. Like, I'm always like super just like aggressive, and Janay's like, well, I think it's fun. No, we don't need that. The rolled chicken tacos need to be a permanent menu item. And I used to get so excited because every year Taco Bell would have the rolled chicken tacos and they would come out around November. It was always that way. Every year it would be around November we would get the rolled tacos. Then all of a sudden, I think 2018 hits? Zilch. Nada. When the frick are the rolled tacos coming back? Every year, checking the calendar, checking the socials. Are the rolled tacos coming back? They haven't come back. But year it is, in the year of our Lord and Savior 2023, they're back, baby. So that's been my favorite thing. I've been going crazy with that mild sauce.
I kind of zoned out during that that passionate rant. I'm sorry.
No, I'm literally dead. I'm talking about dripping that mild sauce on the taco. On the real taco. Why am I going into that much detail? I'm sorry, guys. No, it's just something that I do feel real passionate about. Janay even has a picture of me on her phone with my hand out of the window holding a rolled taco to cool it down because at the time it was too hot. And I got rolled tacos for my whole family today. Whole family, just me, you, and Mom. And the ones that they gave me today weren't that good. So I'm pretty disappointed about that. But, it was just a bad batch. So, Taco Bell, if you hear me, if you're out there at the HQ,
they need to sponsor you at this point and
literally
send you a lifetime supply of rolled tacos.
Seriously, dude. Like, I would love to have some type of partnership with Taco Bell just for the rolled tacos alone and the chalupa. But yeah, that's my favorite thing of the week. So this was a quick episode, man. I just felt like for the 20-year anniversary, things needed to be said, things needed to be addressed, and Cheetah Girls, the legacy of the franchise, they needed to be given their flowers. And when we're talking about Cheetah Girls, we're talking about every movie except for 3. So don't play with me.
So just the first 2.
Yeah, because the real girls get it. We don't claim that last movie. I've never even seen it.
You have seen it.
Did I?
Of course you did. When it first came out.
I watched that?
Yes.
I don't remember.
I don't remember it either because it was very forgettable. But, you did watch it.
Dang.
Don't say you didn't.
Dang. I've been telling everybody I ain't seen it before. Anybody that'll listen. I don't know. But Cheetah Girls definitely need to be given their flowers for what they've done for the culture and the way that they have literally influenced young ladies for the best. I mean, the fact that, it's still 2023 and people dress up as Cheetah Girls for Halloween, it's been 20 years and they're still taking over. They're still those girls.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode. If you're feeling it, if you liked it, make sure that you smash that like button on YouTube and subscribe. And as far as Spotify goes, make sure that you follow the podcast on Spotify. Rate me 5 stars and leave a review letting me know what you thought about today's episode. And make sure that you go back and listen to all of the previous episodes. And when you follow, we're locked in. So that way you know whenever a new episode drops, which episodes drop every Friday. So yeah, rate those 5 stars, leave those reviews, leave those comments, and make sure that you're following the podcast on social media. We're on Instagram at A Little Bit A Lot Podcast, TikTok at A Little Bit A Lot Podcast. So follow those as well. DM me if you have any questions, any concerns, any comments. DMs are open. But thank you, Janay, for joining me for this episode. It's been fun.
Very fun.
Yeah, we're going to just say that Janay is a reoccurring cast member of the podcast because, like, this is my sister and my girl. So it's a package deal at this point, guys. Like, she's super funny. And I know, like, this episode alone, since we were talking about just the Cheetah Girls, you can't really get to know her, but you will soon. So stay tuned. Yay! All right, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.